Well, Kamala was definitely the wild card of the group. This game was kind of her first big step into the spotlight, so I need to make sure she really stands out amongst the other Avengers.
My name is Tristan Eaton, and I'm a Los Angeles-based painter and muralist. Intel, Marvel, and Square Enix have asked me to create a bunch of art to promote this amazing new Avengers video game. That art is going to be a direct inspiration for these PC modders who are going to be creating one-of-a-kind modded PCs inspired by my art. I'm excited to see how they run with it. Ethan, congratulations. I'm so excited to be on this project, man. How do you feel about it?
Oh, it's not every day you get to work with Marvel, so it's definitely a pretty epic project, man.
I know what you do is going to be so cool.
My style of modding is like 80% destroying things. Modding's kind of what taught me that I was creative. I've always enjoyed tinkering and things like that, but I was very academic at school, like never really did art, always did science and technology and all that kind of stuff. Generally with every big build, I learned something different, a new skill set, whether it be like metalwork, carpentry, welding, a whole bunch of builds that have literally involved me taking like a blowtorch, chainsaw, basically anything I have that has a sharp edge. And now it's literally my full-time job. Kamala Khan is still in school, a massive fan of the Avengers, and she's just a super ambitious, super optimistic girl. She's Marvel's first Muslim superhero as well. She has polymorph abilities. She can like stretch her limbs. She can make her entire self bigger, actually. So we bounced around with a whole bunch of completely different concepts, trying to implement like her school life, the fact that she's a fangirl. But I also wanted to make sure that the build represented her as a hero. So in the comics, she would constantly leave class, go to her locker, and throw her suit on. So it's kind of where the original concept for the locker came from. And then we could just combine that with elements from the game, as well as Tristan's artwork.
I really tried to achieve something different with Kamala. And for the first time for one of my builds, I actually hired a seamstress to make her costume. She used a lot of embroidery to get all of these symbols and patterns across her tunic, and it just kind of adds this next level of detail to the overall build. And quite frankly, she nailed it.
The hardest part, I think, is going to be getting the PC in the locker neatly, so there's not just hardware going everywhere. So I got to try and find the balance of fitting the narrative and still looking good. Inside the locker, we've got Intel's flagship 10900K, a 2080 Ti from MSI, as well as their Z490 MPG Gaming Edge Wi-Fi motherboard. With specs-wise, it's super high-end. So it's a pretty beefy PC. I finished it all up and stood back and looked at it and went, oh, I think it turned out real good. You've got the computer on the top shelf of the locker. The CPU's under a full water loop. Airflow in the locker turned out real good. And then underneath, we actually built her satchel from the game. And then in that is her hero suit. So you've got a scarf with all the symbols on it, just kind of like floating around on the bottom shelf. And then on the back side of the door, you've got a photo of Kamala, a younger kid with all the other Avengers. And then Tristan's artwork features as a whole piece hanging on her locker door, along with like a Iron Man crossing magnet and Thor poster. And it's just all of these elements, A, signify that she's a super fangirl, that she's a schoolgirl, but also a superhero.
Once it was finished, I actually took a step back. Honestly, just couldn't help but grin. I was quite proud of it.